What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a huge unboxing for you with the rest of the Kastking catalog that we haven't tried yet. And we've tried a whole bunch of things. We get requests for them all the time because they do offer kind of a wide spread in terms of economic value, from super budget type items at like $30 reels all the way up to $200+ reels. And we got a bunch right behind us here, as well as some of their line, as well as a whole bunch of apparel. So we have the Hydro Armor here, which is a raincoat that Paul's gonna be testing out. And show them the bibs. Our first pair of rain bibs.
Bid me, baby.
These are the deflectors, so we're gonna be testing those out as well. The Hydro Armor, I believe, is around $100, and then the deflector is $199. I'll tell you what, you guys, we were looking for rain bibs for a long freaking time.
Yes.
And there's not a lot of great ones out there, at least for what we want to do. There's like the Grundens, which is the all rubber. If you're going on the Deadliest Catch, so like the perfect pair for that. For what we want to do, we need breathability, we need movability, we need to be out in a kayak. So we wanted something lighter. So we think potentially deflector will be a good fit. We'll let you know when we get back.
The Hydro Armor is nice because it goes into like absolutely nothing. And they have a deflector version, which is like a less breathable, more waterproof version of the same coat. So there's basically two options. These are gonna be a little less expensive. They're gonna breathe better, but they're not gonna be quite as waterproof. On the deflector side of things, you get the opposite. A little more expensive, a little more heavy duty, a little less breathable. These, I will tell you right now, will absolutely keep the wind off of you. We'll have to test the rain stuff. I mean, we're just gonna have to check it out. But they got like,
they look good to me.
They got pockets, which we like.
Oh yeah, pockets.
I love the chest pocket. They got the we got the hip pockets. Actually, those are probably the most useful for things like tools and whatnot. They got a little
clippy.
There's a knee ring. I'm sure you saw that.
Show me good.
There it is.
There's the clippy.
So you can clip your tools and things like that to it. Adjustability is pretty solid. I'm wearing the large, and it fits actually really good.
Oh, turn around again? Not in a weird way, you idiot.
Slap me
no! This is why we get these comments. Look.
I can't trust you.
Let me just yank this up.
Exactly.
It's a jump real quick. It's all mesh back there, as you guys can see.
Oh, is there? Oh, it is. Wow, that's actually super nice.
Trying to point out breathability.
No, it's really good. And then they've
made it weird.
I did. And then they have the adjustability down at the bottom for you to get the cuffs to fit the boots that you're wearing. So overall, pretty solid. It does not stretch, but there is room for you to go straight to the floor if you are so inclined. So you got plenty of flexi in there.
And then we'll try and keep the rain off ourselves with one of these bad boys. This is pretty neat. Always wanted a nice little boonie hat. I think they're like 20 bucks. Other than that, we got a bunch of reels, we got 2 rods, we got a whole bunch of braid, and some tools that we're gonna go through with you. So let's get to it, shall we?
Start with the rods.
There you go. So here we go. So we have the Kastking Asagay. Asagay? We don't know how to say it.
Asagay.
Asagay. So these are technique-specific rods that Kastking has launched. They have a whole bunch of rods in the budget category. This one's like right up the middle, $159.99. And what you're getting with these is each and every single one is gonna have a label on it. Show them this one, what's it say?
Getting jiggy.
Getting jiggy.
So this one's really cool. It's a 7.3 medium fast, which is a really, really fun rod. Kind of a sleeper that we discovered over the years. So it's getting jiggy. So you get the 7.3 medium fast. It's a super fun rod. It's really, getting jiggy with it's pretty obvious. It's gonna be your single hook baits.
You're gonna throw not jigs.
You're gonna throw everything but a jig. So what I like about this, I love the lock nut. I like when the ergonomics are set up for the way you hold the rod, not for like the way you don't hold the rod. Like nobody fishes like this. Everyone fishes like this. So this is where I want the comfort. I also really like that as a kayak angler, my rods are usually vertical or they're facing me, and I never have them laying out on the deck. That's why a lot of times you see text horizontal on the rod blank. Here, they're actually vertical. So when you're holding the rod and you're looking at it, it's waiting for you to be, it's like legible for you waiting right there. I thought that was a nice improvement. They do have an IM9 graphite, so I think that's where the cost is being mitigated. It's not like the highest, best ever, but it is a very solid blank. And then you actually get the double foot guides all the way for numbers 1 and 2.
Beautiful AAA cork.
AAA cork,
AAA.
Some people do absolutely love the cork. I'm kind of in between, but this does feel really nice, and it's a little bit softer than some others. So overall, I think it's really good, and I can't wait to try this one out because the action is solid. We tested these at iCast, was it 2 years ago? Holy cow.
When they first came out with the iREEL.
Yes.
When the iREEL first came out.
2 years ago. So now I'm actually, and then you get the Fuji seat, but I'm excited to try them out. And then which one did you get?
So this is the core spinning, just meaning that it's pretty much good for everything. Actually comes with the drop shot enabled hook keeper as well. Now, enabled. It's just a clip. It means that you can like put the weight down below there, because normally with a drop shot rig, if you just put the hook into the bait keeper or into the hook keeper there, then you've got the weight dangling around, smacking into everything.
It's already tangled.
So you're gonna pin up the weight right there, keep your drop shot from getting tangled. It's kind of nice on a spinning setup to have that. Now, I don't love that it is below the reel seat. That is like my least favorite spot to have it as a kayak angler, because when you put it vertically into a rod tube on your kayak crate, everything gets kind of hung up and sometimes you snap off a bait. So you're gonna usually get like a little different one up here, and that's where you'll pin all your stuff.
Fin Man. I don't have one down here.
One like Fin Man or Drop Shot Jock. So maybe you get your extra one, but there you go. These are pretty sick. It does have like these EVA inlays in the cork. I don't know what that does for me. I don't really care too much about it. Then they have carbon down here at the butt section of the rod. Overall, solid feel to it. We're gonna have to put some time in on the water with them, but I'm excited to test these out.
$150 is that cool price point to test too, because there's a ton of value there. We've tested a bunch of rods like the Cash In Elements, others in that price range, TFO,
close to that, yep.
The Professionals right there. That is such a competitive price range, so it'll be cool to see how these stack up with some of the other good ones that we've tried.
So we're gonna run through the line and the tools real quick, then we're gonna spend some time on the reels here. So line, you know, we haven't used it, so we can't say much about it. Really, we're just saying that this exists. Feel free to check it out. Stay tuned for further reviewing. Go ahead.
One thing I think is cool, this is their Covert Elite, and this is 100% fluorocarbon. The nice thing about these, and the reason we wanted to test them out, is because the spool size is perfect for what we would be using it for. You just pop this out, dude, look at that.
A cassette.
Little cassette for it. So it actually comes in this case, and then you can actually, there's a hole right here, and you can just pull a little bit out and use it as needed. So this really is for your, just gonna be for a leader line. So you need like 4 or 5 feet, rip it off, snap it off, good to go. I think that's really cool. We've had some smaller spools in the past, none open like this with a dispenser. That's pretty neat.
Does anybody out there remember mini disc players?
Heck yeah, I do.
That's what that looks like.
It's the same size. It's skinnier.
They tried to shut down CDs, didn't work.
Yeah, they gave their best effort.
I had one.
I had one and I loved it. I had the Sony.
Yeah. Next up, we got the 13X finesse braid. Now, we actually love using braid on our spinning setups and on our bait finesse setups. So we figured, well, let's get some finesse line and let's see how that compares to a lot of the other more expensive like JDM style lines that we've been using in the past, and see if we can find something that's a little more budget friendly. We'll find out. I still have to test it out. But we picked up a bunch of different pound tests of this, so we're gonna get the chance to try it out on our spinning and our bait finesse setup. So I'm excited for that. We went for chartreuse.
We'll see how long that coating lasts.
Yep.
We've also got their hammer braid and their hammer alpha braid. This one, endorsed by Bill Dance, so you know it's already good. And we did a bunch of different versions of it. So the 9 is a 9 carrier, 9 strand. And then I believe this should probably be an 8, I'm guessing. I actually don't know, and it doesn't say. So I don't know about this one. So I'm interested to test both of these. And actually, I'm interested to see how they compare against each other, because there is a price difference and an availability difference on the website. But I'm sure they're both gonna be pretty solid. We'll see how they compare to not only like a Power Pro, but each other too. We got the moss green, and just because of availability, we had to go with the orange. Which
Orange.
I'm not mad about. 10-pound orange actually sounds kind of cool.
It'll be interesting. First up on the tools, we got the Gila plier here. These are $45. Now, I will say there's a lot of different pliers out there in the world. Some are super cheap. They don't hold up very long. We'll see if these hold up. At $45, it kind of puts it at like a mid price point. There are some pliers out there that are in the hundreds of dollars if you get the super fancy ones. But I mean, they feel pretty heavy duty.
They're super light. In a good way, not in a bad way. They do feel solid.
Light in a good way. A little resistance, sticky. Kind of almost like sticky at first there.
But they're brand new.
Your cutter right here. Yes, they are brand new, so we'll see if it breaks in. A couple different spots that you could tether these things to.
Let's test out the cutters.
And then they've got a little rubber grip right there. Feel pretty good, pretty ergonomic. Let's cut something. What pound test is this? 15-pound test.
Fluoro.
A pow!
Well, that's that.
Give me a braid.
That's what I was about to say. Where's your, well, we got 100,000 yards of braid here, so.
What pound test?
20.
Ready?
Oh, actually pretty good.
That was pretty good. Usually braid with these plier cutters, like especially on the cheaper pliers.
It just sticks.
It just sticks.
You cut one piece at a time.
And you end up going, ha, 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 ha. So pretty neat. And it comes with this little carrier thing that will clip to your belt.
And if you don't use this, which I never do, you can't just attach it to something else. So
God.
Pretty cool. Not bad at all.
Yep.
Honestly, I think overall, definitely a value price. Be interested to see how they hold up over time, which is a big thing for pliers to me.
We shall test. Then we got the radius line spooler and braid scissors combo. One cool thing that I think Kastking Kastking does on their website is they do a bunch of combinations. So you can go and you want some tools, they have like a 5-pack, a 10-pack, like whatever you need.
A 10-pack of scissors?
10-pack of scissors. No, it's like scissors, pliers, long needle nose pliers, like all that stuff. And this one comes with this freaking crazy looking thing. I'll explain in a second, but this is your line spooler. You got braid scissors, so you can easily cut that line, and it comes with a little carrying pack.
This was actually the thing that drew us to the combo, actually. So we were looking for the scissors. These are awesome. Like for just a cheap pair of scissors that have blades that are meant for cutting like small line. Yes, you can find cheaper options. Yes, but if you want a line spooler, if you want another tool, these are essentially coming for free, and they're that perfect size with the grippy on the insides. These to me, these are awesome.
Just don't run with them, Paul.
Well, and they have a little hook sharpener on the back too.
Ah, nice. It comes with a lanyard for some reason. Here you go.
Why not?
And then it actually comes with, these are super helpful. I love having 1,000 of these. So you can see there's a little eyelet right there. You put this around the spool of line, and then your line comes through this little eyelet, and that applies some tension because you can just slip up the back of this sleeve here.
Why don't we just show the people?
And then when you have that tension,
here, give me one of those.
It allows the line not to freely spool off into
oblivion.
Heck. So you put it around the spool, you can see it's loose right there, so we'll just go back here and we tighten that up. And then once that's tight, look at that. Now you can just freely unspool that line nice and easy. So we don't want that overspooling, and you want some tension when you spool up a reel so that you don't get a bunch of wind knots and tangles.
First time you try and cast, if you haven't put any tension when you were spooling up the reel, it's all just gonna bird's nest and shoot out into oblivion. So you don't want that either. Oblivion's a bad place to be. These are actually pretty sick. I actually, in years past, I bought like 12 of these because I was like, I need more.
They actually come with their rack system that we use, which is like a half circle shape. It's wall mountable.
Here's a picture of it.
Looks like that. Holds 10 rods, and there's actually a line spooler on there as well. Speaking of spooler, also give me that tether back. So here's the line spooler. So all you do with this one is you actually unsnap the top part of this. You take your rod, you put it through these. There's a little silicone barrier there, so it's going to protect your rod from any damage. You snap it shut. You notice that there's different sizes depending on the size rod that you were spooling up. And then you take this crazy doohickey here. You take your spool. Give me that spool. Take your spool, put it through here, and then you just lock this down. Eventually, you get to that point where it's got some tension there, right? Like that. And then all you do, hold that, you just reel it up, baby. It's super easy. Yep. And yes, you can do this with your hands, feet, a buddy. Yeah. There's 1,000 ways to spool up a reel.
You can use your Crocs, but the point is, this one is nice because it allows you to do it in a very small, compact area while your spool or while your reel is actually on your rod. So that's like the convenience factor of just having it available, and it also works for bait casting and spinning setups, which is another one because if you think about it, they kind of have to be backwards because they're upside down. Yep. So works super well for both. Well, we think it'll work super well for both. We're going to test it out this week. So another thing that you guys have asked a ton about is the new Kastking backpacks. They have a new series of like, not just like travel bags, but like bank fishing bags / bring them on the kayak bags. So like all-purpose fishing backpacks.
They're called the Bait Space series. So we have the backpack. It's a full-size backpack, and then we actually have a sling bag.
Look at this little guy.
But wait, there's a secret.
So here's your sling pack. So when you wanna be slingy boy, don't hit the microphone.
Slingy boy.
I am sling boy. Right there. It's doing its thing. But come here, you.
When you want to be backpack boy.
Yeah, when I want to be backpack boy, I just take one of these two. You unclip. Get off there.
And it's easy as 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6.
6, 7,
there's another
8,
clip
9.
on the other side, and then there's a little zipper right here in between this one.
That's pretty neat.
Straight down, and now you've got yourself a backpack. I think that's absolutely genius, like being able to do both.
I say, as a parent, that is such a clutch backpack to have, because sometimes you're just carrying a couple snacks and some water, and you go sling packy. But then, like, if you're on a trip to, say, Universal Studios with your kids,
Hollywood, Florida,
and then they want like a bunch of stuff, and then this gets heavier and heavier, you switch to backpack mode.
That's right.
That's clutch.
Yeah, dude.
So this is pretty neat. And then you got a big old lasty water bottle holder on the side.
And that one actually would hold a water bottle / energy drink.
Rod holder.
People love the rod holder. I appreciate you guys. I never use it, but all of these, they made sure to have an option for you to have the rod holder. So for you folks that matters, you got that as an option.
Sleeves on the inside in case you want to throw some plastics or something in there. There's a Velcro flap on the front part. So there's actually a little
Bait
D-rings
library.
in this here. So you have a little bait library.
So you do have 4 D-rings, and that is for attaching the pliers that we were showing earlier, or any other kind of tools that you like to have, little snippets or whatever. Honestly, not bad, Kastking, not bad. And there are different patterns. I think this one comes in the black camo too.
So next up, we got a pretty dang unique backpack doing some stuff that I've never seen with fishing backpacks. And we've tried a lot of them. So this is a Bait Space backpack. You got this big honking front pouch here. Actually comes out a lot. It's got a lot of space in it. Up top here, we got a bait binder catalog. Look at that. So we can do the same thing in this one that you saw on the other one.
And it is detachable.
This is detachable, so you can just take this thing with you separately. It just unbuckles, I believe. Yeah, there's just buckles in the back there.
So if you got like a home base with all your snacks and all your stuff in it and you don't want to bring all that, you got a little satchel.
You got a man purse.
You got your little merce, and then you can just bring that with you. I think that's kind of clutch, actually.
Merce it up, Paul. Clip
Oh.
that. Clip that.
Merce me, baby.
Get mersed. There you go. All your plastics right in there. It's got a whistle.
I love the safety whistle.
Nice.
Those are shockingly loud.
Pretty heavy padding on the back of this. Let's test comfort. Paul put weight in there. Oh, God. Feels great. Perfectly comfortable. Got a bunch of clips all around this thing. Got 2 rod holders on this side, actually, which is interesting.
The way they did it is cool. There's just like a little spot at the bottom for you to stash the rod butt. Yeah, and then you get the clampies up top.
Yep.
Oh, no, this one does high. Look at this. This one, I think, does another rod holder over here. You
What?
can stash the rod butt down here, and then you got a little gripper
Velcro
over
right
there.
there.
That's clutch, dude.
This backpack is doing a lot.
Well, this
All
is
right.
where it gets weird. So on the inside, you were kind of like, what is this Velcro thing for? Oh, it's for you to lift up this flap and have like 2 separate sections. So there's a divider that goes in, and then we're like, how are you getting your baits out? This is just a big pocket. Nothing's coming out of there.
What? It comes out the back.
It's actually more like Mr. Potato Head's butt. But seriously, you can fit now. You've got a separate section down here, and you can do it however you want. Most people would put a 3600 size box, stack them up horizontally. It looks like it could carry 3, I think, 3 standard 3600s at the bottom. And then if you don't want to do it that way, because I never do, I do the vertical 3700s with all my plastics in like a big bag. You can do that as well. But the nice thing about having 2 components or 2 compartments, baits on the bottom, jacket, snacks, lunch, whatever you need goes up top. It's pretty cool.
And then they have a sunglasses pouch, you can tell, because
That's
it's
what's always
like
missing.
nice and soft material in there, doesn't damage your lenses.
If you don't have one of those, I feel like you haven't made a fishing backpack, because I absolutely love that pocket, and it's always, that is the best spot for it.
Not having that is rude.
Pretty sweet. I think they did a pretty good job.
This is a unique backpack,
It
I would
is.
say, for
And
sure.
and it does have D-rings up here. These are great for sunglasses, but also other tools. And then you get
Chest strap, no lumbar strap, but
which I'm
chest
kind of
strap.
okay with it. It's not a big enough backpack where I think it matters. I like it.
Neat.
Good job.
Let's talk about reels to close this one out, eh?
Let's do it. Spinning your bait casting. You guys tell me. Okay, bait casting? Fantastic.
Spinning it is.
The opposite of what you thought.
All right, so we've got a heck ton of reels here.
Royal Legend. This is the Pro.
Look at that purple.
It's Bass Pro. It's like a Bass Pro paint job. 100%. Sparkle Unicorn Special.
Sparkles are in full effect on this one. You have your fiberglass boat in the form of a spinning reel. Form of a spinning reel.
Royal Legend Pro. All right, 6:2 to 1 gear ratio, so a little bit on the faster side. It's got an aluminum gear drive, so that's talking about your internals and the construction of some of the gears that are in there, the main pin that goes through and is doing a lot of the work. Then you've got to up to 25 pounds max drag. Now, drag on spinning reels, maybe a little more important than it is on bait casting reels, because you do rely on that with a lot of your spinning techniques.
Yeah.
And then it does have stainless steel ball bearings, 10+1. I do not ever care about the number of bearings. If you look at like your Shimano's of the world, they're not like, we have 38 bearings. They have like
They use
5.
ceramic or plastic a lot.
Yeah, but these are stainless steel ball bearings, very quality. Yep. It is very light. It's carbon fiber construction, so it's going to feel like plastic to you, and you're going to be like, why is this so light? It's actually because of the carbon. So when you look at the handle and some of the body construction, you're actually getting like a higher density version of plastic that has a lot of superior properties to plastic. And then you do have
No flinching.
the TPE grips. Why would you?
He doesn't even flinch when I throw his reel across the room.
Oh, that was mine.
Oh, that's mine. That actually is mine. A little grippy knob there too. It went with, like the rubber, heavy duty bail.
Love the heavy duty bail. And I think Kastking pointed it out. It does actually match Jeff's kayak. The purple people eater.
$89.99.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, and you guys, like, so see this little grip inside the spool? This little textured area right there?
It's for braid.
That is for when you're going like, well, really anything, but when you're, a lot of times you go like full braid on your setup, it eliminates the slippage. So you don't have to do like tape or any fancy knots or anything. I always love to see that.
Next up, we got the Mega Jaws coming in at $79.99. Tell me about this one, Paul.
So you still got the 6.2-to-1, so same speed as the one we were just talking about. This one has a brass drive gear, which for a long time it had, has been considered one of the more premium options for a spinning reel. Then you do have the, again, somewhat carbon construction.
Clicky drag.
10+1 ball bearings, so same kind of construction, but they're not the stainless. No, they are the stainless steel. There you go. And then 39 pounds of extreme drag. What the?
Oh,
that's kind of crazy, actually.
We're gonna fight some monsters. We got the foam grip on this one.
And then I'm assuming that's a carbon fiber. And then they call it a one-piece aluminum wire bail. So you know, I think this is a little bit of a step down, not much, but a little bit of a step down from the Royal Legend Pro.
I feel like I'm like not just based on the thing we just did, but like I feel like just overall construction between the two of these.
The grip too.
Like I really like the Royal Legend over this one for $10. So $10 more. I feel like I'd be going Royal Legend.
I wouldn't be mad about the Mega Jaws though.
I wouldn't be mad about it. Oh, also, did you notice there's like a little shark finny there?
We love that.
Little finny. Obviously, we got to test these out on the water, so that's kind of the big piece. We can say like, oh, it looks really good, and then we take it out of the water, and then it sucks, or vice versa. So we will find out later. Just pointing them out.
Another one we have not tried.
Woo-hoo-hoo. And then one we have tried after this. This is the Speed Demon Elite. Look at this. Heavy metal, baby, dude. It's got the bats, just like the evil satanic face or bat wings.
Let's go. 7/4-to-1 gear ratio. So I like the high speed. We haven't really tried any of these spinning reels a little faster. So that's pretty cool. It's got a carbon fiber rotor. So that is this piece right here. So that is why it feels so light. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Well, I wouldn't say that the overall reel feels light. It's
no, I meant that the
heavy
outside,
in comparison,
you can feel this part right here does feel.
This part is a little bit lighter.
High strength aluminum alloy frame. So you're getting that aluminum frame. That usually puts you at $100 flat out with most other brands. Like period at the end, you're at $100 right there. That's pretty cool. 25-pound drag, so it probably has the same drag system as I'm assuming the Royal Legend Pro. Now these are the shielded stainless, the double shielded stainless ball bearings, so not the exact same ones that we've seen before.
Price point on this one is $109.99.
Which tracks with aluminum frame. Again, $100 is usually the absolute minimum there.
You know what I just realized we did?
Yeah.
We picked up the Mega Jaws, which is $79.99. Yeah. Royal Legend, $89.99. Skeet Reese, we're going to show you next, $99.99. Speed Demon Elite, $109.99. And then the Mega Jaws Elite, which I believe is like $129.
Yeah. Good, better, a little bit better, best, a little bit best.
A little bit best.
Premium best Elite. Pretty cool. I love the, I can't wait to try the high speed, like higher speed on a spinning reel. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Thinking like the wacky rig setups and things of that nature. It'd be pretty cool to just like, even like jigging, bring some fish up fast.
So Paul's been using this one for a while. This is the Skeet Reese spinning reel. Now, Paul, how much do you like this reel?
This is one of my favorite spinning reels out there, actually. And to be honest, I wasn't really sure when we first got it how I was going to feel. We're talking about a $100 Kastking reel, which some people have been a little bit gun shy about in the past.
Yep.
We have used some of their more premium products, and I've been really happy with it. Even though MG12 Elite, I absolutely love. But this spinning reel just does everything really well. It casts really well. I think the spool size is about perfect. Doesn't hold too much line, but also not too little. I love these grips. These are one of my favorite grips. It's that TPU style plastic, but the sizing is perfect. I love the ergonomics of it. I even like the color scheme. The yellow and black and gray I think looks super cool. Again, aluminum frame, and it's just the drag. The drag was what impressed me the most. I think I was really surprised at the performance of it. Again, at the $100 price point, I think it actually slaps, and I think it overperforms for $100.
17 pounds drag, carbon fiber drag.
Yep.
10+1 double shielded stainless bearings.
Those are their a little bit more premium.
Yep. It's got the carbon fiber rotor, 6:2-to-1 gear ratio, zinc alloy drive.
So it's keeping you light, but also keeping you very durable. That's the other thing. When you pick up this reel, doesn't matter which other Kastking reel you pick up on the spinning side, I think this one feels the best out of all of them just when you grab it. On its face, I think this is my favorite one that I've used so far.
Love it. Then we go to the only premium spinning reel. Well, I mean, the Speed Demon Elite, you could kind of say it's premium. This is like true premium spinning reel.
Yeah.
So $139.99, we have the Mega Jaws Elite, which comes in a clutch colorway here. That like
this is pretty sick. I like it.
Black and purple, let's go. And then carbon fiber handle as well. And then they went with just a standard foam grip. Now, these foam grips from Kastking, they're not terrible. They stay grippy when they get wet. That's kind of the idea behind it. Bottom line with this one, I feel like it's really smooth right out of the box. It's a lot lighter feeling than like the Skeet Reese and the Speed Demon especially. Oh, so this one is made with a seamless uniframe construction. So it's like as few pieces as possible. Part of what makes it a bit smoother, I feel. And then they also did this digi-cut gear technology. Basically just like fine cut tooth gearing. So that'll help with the smoothness as well. Basically the same drag as you get with the Skeet Reese though, for 40 bucks more. So you're not paying for that on this one. You're paying for a lot of the other additions to this. And also it's the exact same 10+1 stainless steel bearings too. So one other big upgrade that you'll get on something like this and a lot of higher end spinning reels is you get the direct drive, meaning that you just take this arm, this comes right off, 1 second. So you can switch it over if you want to retrieve from the other side. All it means is you just go right into there versus something like the Skeet Reese, there's actually a bar that goes across and you can still alternate that. So like this there's a plastic nut on one side that unscrews.
So you got the nut on this side, you just unscrew. And this speaks more to the construction of the reel and how the drive shaft and pinion are all aligned. And it's more about alignment and quality. So come on, still, oh, there it goes.
Quality.
Versus having a bar that goes through and switching around. Again, it's more about quality and construction and design.
So there you go, 139 bucks. Now, I mean, Paul and I have said this a million times on the channel. I'm not really one for spending more than $99 on a spinning reel. I've done it. I don't love doing it. I think there's a time and a place for it. And if you're in the market and you want a higher end spinning reel, maybe this is for you. Again, with all of this stuff, buy it or don't. Keep in mind that this is just our first look at all of these products. Basically, Kastking reached out to us. They were like, hey, you want to try stuff? And we were like, yeah, here's the rest of your library we haven't tried. Would you send us that? They said yes. We said cool. We're going to be real about it when we do a video. So that is what we're here to do. We want to be a resource for you guys. Hopefully this will be helpful in your buying decisions. Again, you don't have to buy anything we show on this channel. We're just showing it so you know it exists. And then we're going to go test it on the water, hopefully break it, and be able to tell you what it took to break it. We finally made our way through the spinning reels. Bait casty time. Okay, so we got a new one for you guys. We've shown off the Kestrel before. We're gonna look at it here in a quick second, but Kastking has the Kestrel Elite. They also had the Valiant Eagle, but they're making an update on a lot of these come iCast this year, but these are the bait finesse lineup for bait casters. So this one is the Kestrel Air Micro. So what does that mean compared to, might as well show both of these at the same time, the Kestrel Bait Finesse. It looks like they're basically the same. Well, the body is exactly the same. The internals are a little bit different. And then you can also notice that the knobs on the Air Micro are, wait for it, micro. They are tiny.
So when it comes
kind of insane.
So when it comes to the Air Micro, they're touting that you can cast down to 0.5 gram. So that is really that's that race to the bottom type of mentality with how low can we actually do this. It's got a 2.35 gram bait finesse feather spool. So that's 0.08 of an ounce. So very small. And you know, a lot of others are going to have a 1/2 ounce to 2 ounces is what they're calling out, and have a much smaller spool. So this has a large. This is like on your higher end BFS reels, you're getting the largest spool possible and the lightest spool possible, which is cool. That's, I mean, they're getting down to like how people who know what they're talking about, and when they're designing these reels to get low, that's how they're doing it. It does have their fly out arc braking system, so it's got 2 different magnets. So what happens is the faster the spool goes, it pushes the 2 brake pads away, the magnetic brakes away from the spool, so you get a little bit more loose as the spool is spinning faster, and then when you need a little more drag as things are starting to slow down at the end of your cast, it's applying a little more magnetic force. And I've used this before. It works actually pretty dang good. And it does have a carbon frame and side cover, so that's how you're getting, again, that super low weight, but also the durability, right? So 20% stronger, and you know, just it's not gonna shatter if you drop it.
The spool, just holding both of those spools in hand, noticeable difference. It is a lot lighter.
That's right. And so you get a brass pinion gear, which again is that higher end, and then you get an aluminum. It's an AT6 aluminum main gear. That's going to be for your durability. So you don't want, if you're going to catch a big fish and really leverage that drag, which is something you're going to have to do with bait finesse when you catch a big fish, you're going to be happy with that harder more responsive pinion gear. And then you get a 7.6 to 1 gear ratio, which I actually kind of like. It's not too fast. A lot of these go like 8.5 plus, 8 plus. 7.6 I think is actually pretty sweet for doing some other stuff. So, and then the total weight is going to come in at 4 ounces, which is just insanely lightweight. Just insanely lightweight.
It is one of the lightest reels that we've tested out, and there is a noticeable difference between that and the standard Kestrel that they have in the lineup.
Now the Kestrel is $120, and it actually can come in, I think, 2 ratios. You can get the 8.4 or the 7.5.
So we have the 8.4 here.
4.5 ounces, so it's like a ½ ounce difference. Not like that's kind of crazy actually. So this one has the same exact braking system as the Air Micro, which again, really nice, and it doesn't weigh very much, which is a huge deal. Now they're calling out this will cast down to 1/32 of an ounce, all the way up to 3/4 of an ounce, which seems hard to believe. And I don't know that you would ever do that with the same rod, but 132 is pretty dang low.
Not with the same line.
1/64 ounce is kind of like the bottom of the bottom. So I think they're still getting a 132 at the bottom is pretty dang good for bait finesse, but not the absolute race to the bottom weight like the Air version. 12 pounds of drag, which you're definitely going to want. High-speed main shaft, aluminum gearing, different aluminum, but still aluminum gearing, and then the TPE grip, which everybody loves to see. You're not getting a carbon side plate with this one versus on the Air, you get the carbon side plate. Again, some of those differences, that's how they're getting, one, the price differential, but also how they're getting the weight way down on the Air version.
The Air Micro definitely matters if you're more of a light finesse bait type fisher person.
If you
want a power bait finesse, then you probably just go with the Kestrel, save yourself like $20.
Yeah, think more like salt finesse, and then think more like true JDM style finesse.
This one, I'm hyped for.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Hashtag dibs.
You can have it, I don't care.
Just as I planned. Agreeability. So we got the Skeet Reese Icon bait caster up next. This is a CNC aluminum frame reel. Comes in at $100, so $99.99 for a bait caster. Usually you can get some decent value propositions at that price point. Super long cast system.
Well, this is more of like the new style where you've basically got what's interacting with the magnetic braking system is actually like a cup, and it sits inside of this part of the mag system, which is really nice. That's like your higher end, more like almost like a DC. It feels like a DC the way it manages your line, but you're not paying the DC price. They still get expensive though. I mean, like people who are releasing mag systems like this one, you're in the $150 to $200 range, just to, like right from the jump. So you're not getting that at $100 with this one. That's crazy.
So this one comes with the carbon fiber side covers. Both sides are carbon fiber.
Nice.
Internal is the aluminum frame. Total weight on this, 7 ounces.
7 ounces with the aluminum frame is crazy for $100. And I love these grips. These are the same grips that are on the spinning reel. I absolutely love these. Perfect size, really grippy. Dude, that's awesome. External adjustment, that should be obvious for $100 these days, but not always.
So that braking system Paul was talking about is called the Auto Mag Dual Braking System. Here's a picture about it. Neat.
It's awesome. I've used it before. It's really good. This is their MG12. It's like a similar version of what's on the MG12.
The MG12 is just like the upgraded version of that, which also has a different name.
Which I have right here. A little more expensive, connected, but the same style. Pretty cool. Bass boat round 2. This time bait caster.
So this is the Royal Legend Pro bait casting reel. This one comes in at a very strange price point, $91.99.
Wow.
You have to really crawl Kasking's websites to find like bad reviews.
They're there.
There's no one leaving them. What are you guys doing? All right, so we got the Royal Legend Pro bait casting reel. All the extra sparkle is,
built in, baby.
All right, so this one also has the Auto Mag Dual Braking System. Here's what's cool about this though. Attached side plate.
There's a spring right on this little spool here that holds it. Dude,
if you guys have ever lost a side plate, like I have.
Devastating.
It's horrible. So, it's kind of nice to have something like that. Yeah. This one is 5.5 ounces.
Dang, that's light.
You could tell as soon as I grabbed it out of the box, I was like, holy crap,
like
this is light.
Ounce and a half heavier than the Kestrel. It's crazy.
8:0 to 1 speed gear ratio.
Dang.
That's what we're dealing with. 16 pounds of drag, a little less than the Skeet Reese.
Speedy.
And then 11+1 stainless steel ball bearings in there.
Same grips. Love these. They're just black, but I love these grips. That's crazy for under $100.
Paul also called this out as soon as we got this out of the box. It is quite a bit smaller feeling than the Skeet Reese is.
Mostly because of the front. So you can see the bumper here at the front of the Skeet Reese, which definitely feels heavier because it's aluminum. They're it doesn't look crazy different, but when you're holding them, it feels significantly smaller, which is good and bad. Some people would grab that and be like, ew, annoying. And some people grab and be like, yes, let's go. So more of a preference thing. I would tell you right now, like if you're deciding between these two,
I was gonna say
heavy duty chunker, like that's just what this is. And I'm kind of excited for it at $100 with the aluminum frame. I'm excited about it. Lightweight and all the features and sparkly. So I think, you know, if you're making that choice, I don't really know if there's anything else to make the decision on. That and the attached side plate.
Same braking system, a lot of similarities, but you're getting more of the heavy duty with the skeet Reese and $8 more.
I think your tournament angler is probably going that direction.
I think 99.9% of kids repeating want this one.
It's kind of sick.
I mean, let's be real. And it feels pretty smooth. Obviously, again, we got to get these out on the water. That's where we put the full test in. So everything that you just saw in this video will be destroyed within the next 12 months because that's what we're really good at. So we're going to get it out there. We're going to beat the heck out of it. And we will report back to you because we do kind of a year in review every single year. We go through the best, the meh, and the worst of everything we tried for that year. So stay tuned for the full feedback and some on the water reviews with these as well throughout the season. Because again, we want to be a resource here for you at Aggressively Average Anglers. We appreciate you. Signing off, this is Jeff, that's Paul. We got to go on a plane right now. Get your passport.